Hello again, Internet. This first image for this video is called 5-Minute Break. The idea to this one feels quite uninspired and a bit bland, but I kinda like how it turned out technically. I like the way the colours harmonise and the general feel of it. I just wish the subject would have been a bit more interesting. And this next one is called Whispering Screams. This is just something I did for a new forum avatar, but it kinda turned out okay. I'm growing more and more fond of it the more I look at it. I especially like the sort of hazy feel of the bits on the background. And this one is called Escape from Eden. This one is made in my short horizontal face I had a few weeks back. It's a nice format to experiment with backgrounds in, and this image I wanted to do a bit of mix of fantasy and sci-fi elements, as they are my two favourite subjects creatively. Not super happy with the dragon in the background spewing fire on the ground. It would probably have looked better with a 3D dragon, so this one might be getting a rework sometime in the future. This one I called Expedition to Terra Nova. With this one I wanted to show two humans from the future finding an ancient relic from a previous civilization. The relic in this case is a rocket. The empty and sparse background felt right to give it a more vast, empty space feel. Like you're all alone, out in the middle of nowhere, exploring a new world. And this one I just called Elisa. This was mainly an experiment. Normally I always go for a more painted look in my images, whereas this time I tried to get a slightly more realistic feel, but not still super realistic. I'm quite pleased with how the eyes turned out, but some of the other bits could have used a bit more work. This one I called Bleed Well. For over a year I've been wanting to do a vampire style image, but they've always turned out like crap before. I do like how this one turned out though. The colours and general feel of it is very much what I wanted when I started, which is otherwise quite rare. Usually the images I make evolve like they have a mind of their own, and what I wanted to make when I started is rarely what I get in the end. But this one came together nicely. This one is called A Better Tomorrow. This is a rework of one of my older images where I had this girl sitting leaning towards a broken statue, but this time I took it a bit further. One of my harvesters got a little guest spot as well, and the caption I wrote for this image is more or less, "Liberty used to mean free speech and freedom to reach for one's dreams. Now it's just liberty or death." And this one is called Ode to Solitude. It's another experiment with backgrounds. This time I wanted to try some explosions and a more big city feel in the background. Of course I just had to put a few seeker ships in there as well, and the gas mask felt quite fitting to the rest of the scene. And this one I call The Watcher. Beware the Watcher, for she sees all. Yes, I know I have a thing for glowy eyes. It's just one of those things, I suppose. Some people like shoes, I like glowy eyes and tilted camera angles. The original idea to this image was to make a female version of Fenris from Dragon Age 2, but that kinda got tossed out the window, so it turned into this instead. As I said earlier, the images rarely end up as what I had planned originally. And this is the last image for this video, so I'll see you next time.